Hi there, this is Mark Pfeiffer. I am a real estate investor and also an avid cash flow game player. And I want to go over a concept called syndication and how it can be used in the cash flow game. Now, this has to, of course, one of your rules has to be you allow syndications during the game. A syndication is where you would partner up with other investors to purchase a property. And the syndicator is usually the one who has drawn the card and is raising money from the other investors at the table in order to do the deal. So in this scenario, I picked an apartment house for sale card. I should say that when I drew this card, I only had $1,000. However, I knew that the other players at the table had about $50,000 amongst all of them. So I drew the big deal card. So here's what it says: 24-unit older apartment building near community college available from retiring owner/builder. Fully rented, nice cash flow. Use this yourself or sell to another player. 67% ROI. May sell for $600,000 to $960,000. Cost is $550,000. Mortgage is $500,000. Down payment is $50,000, and cash flow is $2,800, and that's a monthly number. So what I did here in Excel, allow me to zoom in, is I transferred over all the information from the card, the cost, the mortgage, the down payment, the monthly cash flow, and then I added annual cash flow here, which is taking the monthly cash flow and multiplying it by 12. To calculate cash on cash return or return on investment, I'm taking the annual cash flow and dividing it by the down payment. And so it's 67%, as was stated on the card. On the card, it also said that it could sell for between $600,000 to $960,000. At a cost of $550,000, that is really good because you're buying it below market valuation. You're having a $50,000 margin of safety here on the low end, which is good. Now I'm going to walk through how I would syndicate a deal like this. Here are the players' names that were at my table: Eric and MJ. They're capital partners. I knew they had some cash lying around. Eric had $32,000. So we're going to call this column down payment. MJ had $13,000. And I only had $1,000. So right here, the sum of those two is $45,000. So I need to come up with $5,000. So what I did is I combined a bank loan of $4,000 with my $1,000 to have $5,000 to put into the deal. If you sum up all of these numbers, it's $50,000, which equals the down payment necessary to do this deal card. Now, how did I raise this money from them? Well, I said to them, would you like to earn a 50% cash-on-cash return? That's a pretty good return in the game. And they agreed to that. So they agreed to 50% cash-on-cash return. That means that their annual cash flow would be the product of $32,000 times 50%. So for Eric, it's $16,000. In a monthly cash flow number, that's going to be, if we take 16,000 and we divide it by 12, $1,333 a month. And for MJ, $541 a month. So when you earn 50% on $13,000, you're going to get $541, or rounded up to the nearest dollar, $542 a month in cash flow. And let's just do that there. Okay. So then the question is, well, how much cash-on-cash return am I getting? And also, what is the ownership percentages here? If I were to sell this property, how much of the sale proceeds would Eric get? How much would MJ get? And how much would I get? So the way that we did ownership was not based off of the down payment that people put in. It was based rather on the percentage of cash flow they were receiving out of the total. So the total monthly I know is $2,800. To calculate how much I would be getting monthly, it's going to be $2,000, $2,800 here as the total, minus the $1,333 that Eric gets, and minus the $542 that MJ gets. That gives me $925. To calculate the ownership percentage, we're simply going to take their monthly cash flow and divide it by the total cash flow. We can do that for everyone here. And we'll get a percentages here. So Eric's getting about 48%, MJ's 19%, I'm 33%, and that totals 100%. 100%. Now if we had done it based off of the down payments that people had put in, if we look over here, we would take this number, $32,000, and divide it by the $50,000. The percentages would be much different. Eric would get 64%, and MJ would get 26%, and I would only get 10%. Why am I getting so much more? The reason is I'm the one who pulled the card. I'm the one who found that deal, who found that opportunity, who's structuring this syndication together. So rather than basing percentage ownership off of the down payments amount, I'm basing it off of them receiving a 50% cash-on-cash return, equating to this monthly cash flow, which would give them this percent ownership based off the total cash flow from the property. So then, how would I calculate my cash-on-cash return from this deal? Well, since we've calculated what my monthly cash flow is here, we would take that number, multiply it by 12 to get an annual cash flow number, which is $11,100. And then the cash-on-cash return is this annual cash flow number divided by my down payment, which is 222%, which is pretty good. But you also, in reality, when you're doing a deal like this, the syndicator is the one who's going out there and putting in a lot of time to find and source that deal. And your time has a cost to it, so in this example, we're not really factoring in all of my time costs. So here are all the cash-on-cash returns. Here are the annual cash flow numbers, which are summing up to what we had up here on the deal card, $33,600. Monthly cash flow number is summing up, and the down payment number is summing up. So this is how you would do a syndication in the cash flow game. It's a really great way to have your money work really hard for you, and the way to assess how hard your money is working for you is looking at your cash-on-cash return here. When your money is working at 222% cash-on-cash return, it's going to help you to get out of the rat race a lot faster. So I hope this has been helpful for you, and if you have any questions, you can put a comment down below or simply contact me. My number is 310-866-7463. I love talking real estate. I love meeting people who are working in the real estate business and making win-win transactions. So hope this was helpful for you, and have an awesome day.